Yo, party people, come on. Yo, get your ass ready for this new track. Lil Sue's in the house, Kaysha. Yo, Shada. Worldwide, Brooklyn representing. Yo, we got it like this. Yo, like this, like that. You know, like this, like that. Don't stop. Yo, he's at your guest room. Pass the broom. Need a little cleaner hips soon. Pass the broom. Test room. Guess who? Say you wanna test who? Better learn this rule. Yo, special for fools. Having no clues. Now you wanna get through. With no clues. Going like I know, but baby, don't be cool. Shit up the hood. Something put a new boot. Look at here. Some kicking, some ticking. Yo, time to blast boo. New cast boo. Yo, one test boo. If you did a bust, nigga, one last boo. True.
La nuit, je peux être le jour, je peux être l'amour, je peux être la haine, je peux être la peine, je peux être la joie, tu n'as pas vraiment le choix. Dans ta détresse, je suis sereine pour la tendresse, je suis ta reine, mais la faiblesse, je suis la tienne, je peux jouer tous les rôles. Femme fatale à mes heures, quand j'ai mal, que je pleure, ambiguë.
Yes. What is up? 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 Welcome to Club Shada episode 86. Damn. It's a lot of episodes. Intro music was Sumia featuring Shada. Sometimes produced by me. And right now you're listening in the back the music of Diamanter. Why is the music not? Should be. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Shouldn't it be appearing here? Let me check that. I guess not in the sponsor one. Welcome to Club Shada. I hope everybody's in good spirit. I hope everybody is fine. I hope that everybody is watching, is doing good. Put in the chat the flag of where you're watching from and what time it is. It is here in beautiful Portugal, midnight and 48 minutes. Yeah, 48 minutes. This show is brought to you by Shada, where the gods of good fortune. I want to thank all the new subscribers to the channel, more than 2,000 new subscribers in the channel. So, I can't complain about that. So, Carlene, Nasuma, Julie, Clara, Vice, Grip, Sudi, etc. I hope everybody's doing good. As I am, I want to acknowledge the stream royalty, who is Sirène des Îles, with $15 donation, and also all the sponsors of this show. Thank you so much for your donations, and you are making this. You're paying the fuel. Oil is getting. It's not getting cheap these days. Trust me. Interesting comment from Observatoire Citoyen. First of all, La Milliardaire, I hope you're doing good. I see a lot of people in the chat. Don't be shy. Vous pouvez parler dans toutes les langues. I speak everything. I reply in every language, even Russian. If nobody's, speak Russian these days, but even Russian. Hey Luther, what's good? Sirène des Îles, bonsoir, comment ça va? La Milliardaire, what up? How are you? Observatoire Citoyen, okay, would you consider doing live Fridays too? For most of us to be able to participate, as during the week it's hard for us to watch because we have to wake up super early for work. Thanks. Hey Sirène des Îles, oh. Merci beaucoup, Sirène des Îles. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Most of us are home weekend, so Friday lives could be perfect, please. But again, it's all about your time, as you have business and family to look after. This is just a suggestion. Thanks. Listen, the thing is this. I don't even know how we ended up doing Wednesdays and Sundays. I don't remember. I don't know. Would I do like Mondays and Fridays or Tuesdays and Fridays? I don't know. It's up to the Shada gang to decide what they're comfortable with. It is true that a lot of people have to go to work. But also keep in mind that normally on Fridays, I used to go to work as well. Like as an artist, Fridays is usually the days where you have a show or you have something to do, or maybe you want to go club or go to dinner or something. So it's I would also love to do some episodes in the afternoon, like French time, like maybe a episode in French at earlier. Like, Saturday afternoon, like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. The thing is, it's so hard to adapt to everybody because people are all around the world. So, I don't know. But, from time to time, damn, I have to cut this bird. from time to time, yeah, maybe, we'll think about it. DJ Ari, what up? How are you, brother? I hope you're good. Everybody's good. Hey, Tati, what is up? Gabriel. What's going on, brother? On n'a pas fini notre Gabriel. La dernière fois qu'on s'est vu, tu es venu dans le club Shada, puis après tu as disparu. Puis après on n'a plus jamais entendu parler de toi. Puis après, tu es resté à l'hôpital dans la Covidence pendant longtemps. And then, tu n'es plus jamais revenu. Donc il faut qu'on refasse un épisode ensemble, mon cher. D'ailleurs, on va faire un épisode hommes et femmes. Donc, Gabriel, il faut que tu sois là ce jour-là. C'est important. Elise, how are you? I hope you're good, like I am. Listen, this is crazy. Already 66 plays. Nice. Yeah, listen, I don't even know how to start this one. But before I start talking about what I want to talk to you about the story of the agency in front of my house. So it's a real, how you say, a realtor? Real estate. So when I moved to Portugal 10 years ago, I was in Oeiras the first year, so it was kind of easy. I got my apartment through a friend that was into real estate. So, and the owner of the place was her friend, so it was kind of easy. And when I visited the apartment, I just did a show. The apartment was beautiful, 70 meters of terrace in front of the sea, 70 meter of apartment. I think it was 100 meter of terrace, 70 meter apartment. The only problem was there was one room. And my son, at that time, used to live in Congo, but every time he would come, he would have to stay in the living room, or he would have to take the room and I stay in the living room. So to me, I was always like, I don't know how long I'm going to stay in this apartment, but I need at least, with one kid at that time, I need at least 2 bedrooms. And, things were fine. It was all cool. And after 1 year or 6 months, I don't remember, but when I arrived, I met the owner. She liked me. I liked her in like as a tenant and a landlord. And like when I asked how much was the rent, I was shocked because for Portugal it was expensive, but for me in France, for all that, the cost was nothing. And I just did a show, so I brought her, like, I think I had cash with me, 3 or 4 months of rent, and I told her, hey, listen, if you if we accept to sign this contract together, I'll just give you 4 months, 2 months of guarantee plus the first 2 months of rent, and by the time I go to Paris, once we sign our deal, I'll wire you a whole year of rent. And so for her, like, perfect tenant. And but after some time, because of her work and whatever that happened in her life, she needed to either sell the apartment or go back inside of the apartment. So I ended up having to move because I could have bought that one. That was a nice place, but yeah, there was only one room. It would have cost more money to just take a little bit of the terrace out, make more rooms, etc. Like really change it inside, and I just moved in. So I decided to move not not far from Lisbon. And there's a neighborhood that I always wanted to live called Parque das Nações, which is like a very fancy neighborhood. A lot of it's I don't know if it's the most expensive neighborhood in Lisbon, but it's one of them. It's probably one of the top 5 neighborhoods. And everybody used to tell me it's super expensive to live there. So me, hey Trish, me, donc toi tu viens ici, tu dis bonjour à Trish, mais nous c'est la merde quoi. Vraiment. Yeah, so I was saying, me, I'm here, and I really wanted to check this neighborhood out, and I was looking at the prices around here, and yeah, everything was more around, So in Paris, I used to pay 1,000 euros per month for a 50 meter square with 1 bedroom. And when I arrived here, the 100 meter terrace plus a 70 meter square apartment was only 750. And in like with sea view and a penthouse. So I was like, yo, that's amazing. So I didn't know when I moved here how much it would be in this neighborhood. But I didn't know actually. Because when I asked Portuguese friends, all they used to tell me was, it's too expensive, forget it. And me, I was like, what you mean it's too expensive? Like, can you give me how much is it? But for them it was, no, it's too expensive, don't go there, you could live here. And me, I really like this neighborhood. Like, it's really like it sits in front of the sea. No, not the sea. It's in front of the river. So you have like riverfront, you have restaurants, you have shopping center, you have beautiful hotels when you can have like sky bars, lounges, etc., etc. This is really a place where I was like, this is my kind of place. This is a place that I could not afford in Paris, but here I could afford it. I mean, I didn't know. I was like, I have no idea how much is it, but I know that I'm already paying. I'm already paying 750 in the old apartment. I don't know. Maybe it's 1,005, 1,000. I don't know. I knew I was trying to get something around 800. But I didn't know if 800 was too much, too little. But so I arrived in so I was looking for an agency, a real estate agency, so I can go there, visit, and ask them what do they have. Because you have to understand one thing. Every apartment that I lived in, the first one belonged to my mom. The second one, it was a friend that I knew that was renting her apartment. The second one, it was a friend of my sister who works in video, so it was not like guarantees, whatever. It was more on a trust thing. And then this one was the same thing. And when I arrived here, the last one, I was just paying 1 year of rent. So if you do a deal for a year and the tenant just pays 1 year or 6 months, as somebody who owns the apartment, I'm a great tenant. Like, usually I come, I tell, hey, listen, I will pay a whole year, and I will pay year per year. So for example, I think it was last week, I paid my 6 months for this place. But so I'm looking, and I was looking for what up, Danny? Even Cristiano has a house on your neighborhood. Yeah, he lives just across the street. I mean, I think his mom is there. I know which building it is, but he lives now in Marques Pombal. I mean, his new house. So I'm looking at agencies and I see that there's an agency called Remax. And I'm like, okay, let me find the Remax. So I come here and I walk, and at the same time I'm visiting, like, oh yeah, okay, Vasco da Gama shopping. I see where we are, because I remember coming here in 2003 with my ex and my son. So I remember that place, and I was like, wow, I love this neighborhood. So we there walking, I'm walking, and I'm looking for the Remax agency, and I don't find it. So Parc das Nações is divided with the center, the north, and the south. And I think the agency I was looking for was in the south, but I went to the north. So I was walking, looking for the Remax. At a point, I see a Remax, but it was not the right one, and it was closed. So I go on the other side, and there's another agency called Era. And this one is in, actually, that was the street where the street where I live now. So there was the agency, and I get in, I'm like, okay, I mean, it's not a Remax, but I guess it's the same thing, it's an agency. And there's this lady that greets me, and I'm like, hello, yes, I'm looking for a place, an apartment around here. And she's like, what's your budget? And I'm like, what do you want, and what kind of, and I tell her, okay, I need 2 bedrooms. That's the minimum. I need 2 bedrooms. And she's like, what's your budget? And she tells me, she tells me, what's your budget? And I say, 800, 850. That's what I thought in my opinion. And she replies to me, there's nothing for you here. There's nothing for your budget here. I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, okay, can you tell me what are the prices around here for a 2-bedroom apartment? And she replies to me again, yeah, we don't have nothing for your budget. I'm like, wait a minute. I understand that for 800, you don't have nothing, but I would love to know how much it is for a 2-bedroom apartment, because maybe it's more, maybe I can. Like, you don't know what is my budget. I just told you that I wanted to spend 800, but listen, if it's 900 or 1,000, maybe, because I was always taking the taxi from Oeiras, which is the beach side, to Lisbon. I would do this like 3-4 times a week. So it would cost me 400 just in taxi every week. So if I live in Lisbon, I could use that taxi money and put it in the rent. But if I don't know how much are the rent in this area, I cannot say to myself. And I tell her, yeah, but can you tell me what are the price more or less? And she replies to me, nothing in your price range. And like, I didn't speak Portuguese at that time, so I only speak English. So I don't know exactly if she was aggressive or if she was whatever, but she seemed very like, don't waste my time. It's not a neighborhood for poor people here. Or maybe poor black people. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. But strange vibes. And I look at the girl, I'm the woman. I look at her and I'm like, yeah, listen, can you just tell me the price or give me a brochure? And she was like, thank you so much, thank you. And then she stand up, open the door, and yeah, show me the door. Bitch. I'm like, all right, you know what? Okay, interesting experience. So, I said to myself, well, you know what? Forget about it. I'm going to call my friend who find me the first place, and maybe she knows somebody who's more nice or whatever. At that time I didn't, and maybe somebody who speaks well English. I don't know. Listen. And I go back home. So I go back home to the beach side, Oeiras. I go to my penthouse. La go n'avait pas monté en deux. Ma chère. Et so I go back and I'm a little, I wouldn't say I was pissed, but I was like, why was she like so, she was strange. Like she was, she took me from up there, like, listen, there's nothing in your price range here. I was like, all right, okay, listen, no problem. So I stay in the neighborhood. I walk a little bit. I check the neighborhood. I'm like, oh damn, I really like this place. Like, I walk in front of the water. I walk like 10 minutes. I see that I already am in the shopping center, etc. I see, like, I'm like, yo, I really like this place. All the restaurants, etc. I'm like, yo, this is a nice neighborhood. And I continue walking, and I realize that, I find the Remax agency that I wanted, but that agency was closed. So now that I know where it is, I know the address, and I'm like, you know what? I'm coming back tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow and go in that agency. Maybe the person's gonna be nicer. Who knows? So get a taxi, go back to Owedash. Owedash was like half an hour from here. So I'm there, chilling. And the next day, I come back around here. And this time, I go to the agency that I know. So I get in the agency. Yeah, you don't need to say. So the next day, I come back. I get to the agency, the Remax, and I wait. So I'm waiting a little bit, and then there's a lady that comes. And she comes, she's very smiling, and she's like, oh, how can I help you? I said, I'm looking for a place. Oh, come to my office. I come to her office, We start talking. So she's like, are you from here? I said, no, I've been here for 1 year, but I live in Paris, but now I live in Owedash, and I'm about to move next month. And yeah, I would like to find a place. And I'm telling her that I'm going to Thailand in a week, and I would love to visit some places when I come back. And I asked her, and she'd ask me, what is your budget? And I said, around 800. And she tells me maybe 850. And she tells me, darling, in this neighborhood, you're not gonna find a 2-bedroom apartment for that budget. And I'm like, okay, so how much is it more or less in this neighborhood? And she tells me it's more around 900, 950, maybe 1,000. And I'm like, but it's only 200 more. Like, why is? And she's like, what's going on? I said, no, listen, I was in this other agency yesterday, and I was just asking that information, and the person just almost kicked me out of the place. And she was like, oh, this is strange. That's rude. I was like, yeah, listen. And then she's like, can you ask you a question? I said, yes. She's like, are you a singer? I'm like, yes, why? She's like, oh, Kaysha, you Kaysha? I love your music. Oh my God, I dance kizomba. My name is Magda. Very nice woman, amazing. And she's like, oh, listen, around 900 to 1,000, I can find you something. 800 for 2-bedroom, it's complicated. And I'm like, yeah, listen, of course, no problem. And I tell her, listen, I can pay a whole year. At 1,000 is gonna be what, 12,000? I can pay a whole year. And she's like, oh, I think I can find you something 900, 950. I'm like, yeah, listen, whatever it is. I used to have a lot of the money from YouTube. I was not even touching it at that time, and I was still doing a lot of shows. So all the money from YouTube that was going from the channel, it was just staying in my account. And I had the money from Spotify and the distribution, all that was staying also in the account. So I had enough money to pay for 1 or 2 years or even 3 years. So I go to Thailand, and I stay in Thailand maybe, I would say, for 10 days, I think. And while I'm in Thailand, I receive an email from Magda. Hey, Kay, here are 4 or 5 places that when you come back, I'm picking you up in Oeiras and we can visit them. I'm like, wow. So I look at the places, I look at all the different places, and I'm like, wow, this is okay, interesting. Like, and she has like, there's a 100 meter square, you will love it. Da, 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 da. You know, it's a little expensive, but hey, listen, this is a neighborhood, blah, 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 but everything is around 900 to 950. And I'm like, listen, in Paris, I used to pay 1,000 for 50 meter square. So if I can have 100 meter square for 950, it's a no-brainer for me. So we visit a place in this building downstairs. We visit 2 places in some new building more after the bridge. We visit another one not far from the Vasco da Gama shopping center. We visit a few places. There's nothing that really like, that I feel like, yeah, this is home, you know? And she's like, so the one that Danny was telling me in Cristiano Ronaldo's mother's place, I visit one apartment there too. It was at the first floor. I like to live around over the second floor, preferably 3, 4, 5. But it was nice. It was okay, but I didn't like the bathroom. The bathrooms were very small, and the building was. You could see that it was a nice building, but it was built maybe 20 years ago. And then I visit this building that was built like 10 years ago, I think. Like belonged to somebody who lives in China, in Hong Kong, actually. And she tell me, I think this is the one that you will like, and I save it for best. I save it for last because I know this one, you will like it. And I visit this place. And I look at the size of the living room, the size of the kitchen. The view of the terrace is Alameda dos Oceanos, which is the avenue that goes straight to the shopping center. I see from the bedroom, you can see the river, you can see the Myriad Hotel, and I have 2 big bedrooms, bathroom, and I look at the apartment and I'm like, yes, this is the one. I love it. And she's like, well, listen, if you love it, we're gonna talk with the owner. Just have some documents proving what you do as for your work, how much money you make, etc. You know, the usual thing. And I said, yeah, tell the owner that if he agrees to have me as a tenant, I'm paying 2-month advance plus 1 year rent straight. So then the same night, she was like, the owner agrees. So I was like, okay. As soon as we signed the deal, I'll pay him 1 year of rent. So the same night I had the contract, we signed. She brings some champagne, we celebrate, we listen to some kizomba, and sign the contract. I wire 14 months of rent to the owner, and I have my new place. I have my keys. So at that time, the place is completely empty. But in the other place, I already had this sofa that I'm gonna change. This sofa, I had this sofa for 10 years now, all white. I'm gonna buy a new one probably. I was supposed to buy it last week, but I just bought the new Mac. That is crazy. So, but in a few, I'm gonna buy a new one. But I had that sofa, leather, white sofa, beautiful. I had my TV, the two TVs, the one from the bedroom and this one. I had them for 10 years. They're still working, 65-inch, amazing quality. I'm just waiting for them to stop working to buy some new ones. And I had my office that I built. I drew it myself, and I had somebody build it for me. And so I was like, okay, I have to bring everything I have already in the other place. I just need to bring everything and then I'll buy the rest of the furniture, because I'm gonna need a second bed, since but I brought I already had everything I had in the other place. So the bed, furniture, TVs, etc., computers. I just had to have a moving team to bring me to the new place. So so when I move from a place to another, usually I try to have a month of rent in both places, so that while I'm moving to one, I can still be in the other one. So in the last week, I would come here all the time to check with the electricity guys, all the things that need to be done, put the cable, put everything, so that when I get in, I'm just in. And on the other one, I hired some people to. Oh, bro, I'm not about to buy it. I bought it already. I'm gonna talk about it. So, at the last week, I have a team, a company, to bring everything from the old apartment to the new apartment, right? So, cool. People are starting to move everything, though in the morning I'm in the other place. And so I wait for them at 8 a.m. They start packing everything. I have my cleaning lady that comes to clean up the house after them. I have some people to paint the walls immaculate, like if nobody was there, and do the last cleaning. I want to leave the place just like if nobody was ever there. That's how I like to leave a place when I move. So once everything has moved, I take a taxi to the new place, and the people tell me they're gonna do a lunch break, and at 2 p.m. they will start unpacking everything. And so they come, they unmake everything, and then they remake everything in your house. They take everything that's in the wall, they put it in the wall again, like top-notch service. So now I have a taxi drop me in my street, and I'm in my new apartment waiting for people to arrive. And I have I open the windows, etc. And what up, Ezekiel? And as I'm waiting for the crew to come, I stay in the street to welcome them, right? And so I'm there chilling in the street, and the team of movers all arrive. So there's like 2 trucks full of stuff. So they start unpacking my sofa. So this beautiful white sofa, leather sofa, is coming out of the truck with you have 20 people, a lot of ants taking stuff, going in and out of the apartment. And me, I'm just there downstairs talking on the phone with my best friend or somebody like that. And I realize that in front of me, in my house, so my house is on that side of the street, and in the other side of the street, there's the Era agency, the first agency where I went and where that woman was rude. And I'm like, wait a minute, because the first time I went was night, so I don't remember, but now it's the day. And the first thing I realized is that at the end of my street, there's the water. So I'm like, wow, this is nice. And then I'm like, hey, isn't that the agency where? And because there's the trucks and a lot of people watching. What up, MJ? Because there's a lot of people, there's some curious people. The people from the agency come out to see who's moving in. And that woman comes out and she looks at me and listen, those people they know, and Magda from the other agency, so the competition, they all know each other. So she says hi to the person, and because sometimes they probably have the same apartments or whatever, the first one who wins, whatever. So I think she knew which apartment I got, and she probably knows how much it costs in that building where I live. So she looked at me, and I look at her like, hey bitch, you missed the deal. And she was like, and I continue my life. What you want to do? This is life. This is how people are. Never judge people. You don't know them. But yeah, it's it was that. So that's how I moved here, and it's 9 years now. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 9 years, 8 or 9 years that I'm in this one. And it's gonna be time to move soon. I'm starting to. It's so funny how I used to be so comfortable. I mean, I used to live alone, but I was comfortable in my 20 meter square, my studio. Then I had a bigger one. Then I had the 50 meter. Then I have this one, 100 meter. And it's interesting with 2 kids and a wife. It's starting to feel. It doesn't feel small, but because there's 9 years of stuff in there, it's starting to feel a little bit. And I'm gonna need 150 or 200 meter, but I'm not moving until I can just buy cash. So that's my next mission. MJ, how you been? How was the retreat, bro? So yeah, listen, that I think that woman learned a lesson that day. That's what I'm telling you. She was like, damn, I missed the commission. See, yes, you did. Because if she told me, hey, listen, the prices around here are this, that's all I needed her to tell me. And all she could say was, yeah, that's not on your level or stuff like that. She doesn't even know how much I make a month. But hey, it is how it is. Sometimes people, are food and fuel prices going up where you are, like what's happening in Canada? Ooh, we're gonna touch that subject. Actually, we're gonna touch that subject. You should call in, bro, because that would be interesting to have the point of view of a North American. But yeah, listen, it's that was a good lesson for that person, and I believe that I love this neighborhood so much that when I'm gonna move exactly in this neighborhood. But yeah, I'm gonna stay riverfront. My wife would love to go to where Buddy lives, but it's in Palmela. But I like living in Lisbon. To me, Palmela is way too far for me. So since then, I just bought a computer. So I bought my new computer actually. So from my NFT gains, I already said to myself that Apple would actually unveil a successor to the Mac Mini Pro, and or maybe the Mac Pro, I didn't know yet. And so, as you remember, when I destroyed my Mac Pro last year, I've been using the Mac Mini, the M1 Mac Mini from Apple to do the live stream. And actually, listen, this computer is incredible, you know, like, but because of everything I do on a computer, I never have less than 6 applications running at the same time, from the graphic stuff to the Final Cut for edition, even to do the live. I'm gonna have Ecamm working, I'm gonna have Spotify playing the music in the back, I can have Chrome, I can have whatever depending on what I do. And usually for live streaming, the machine is perfect. I never had problems of memory, but I really took, because I thought to myself, I'm just gonna use this until I get my new machine. If you remember, I was saying to myself, listen, that's for 1-2 weeks the time for them to repair my Mac Pro, and then I'm giving it back, or I'm using it for whatever, or I'm giving it to somebody who needs it, like Buddy, whatever. But as I've been using it for other things than live stream, like Photoshop, sometimes I'm in Photoshop and at the same time I'm in Final Cut Pro, and at the same time I'm making some beats. It's not all the time, but from time to time, the memory is starting to tell me, yo, bro, don't abuse, because this is really the entry level. I think I have 1 terabyte drive. Do I have 1 terabyte drive? Let me check about that Mac. I think I have 1 terabyte drive. So I have the 8 gig memory, and the drive is, no, it's a 500 gigabytes. But because I'm plugged with my 4 SSD enclosure, I have my 5 terabyte outside. But even this, because I really thought this would be just a machine that I would put in the bedroom, or maybe it would be a travel machine. It was not meant to be my main machine, but it turned out to be so powerful that I kind of used it, and I was like, okay, maybe I should have bought like a 1 terabyte 16 gigs. But because I had the live show, I just took the first machine that I found. And then for the last year, I was like, do I buy a new one? Do I buy a Mac Mini with 30 gigs of memory and 2 terabyte drive, or do I wait? And then yesterday, 2 days ago, Apple unveiled the beast. They unveiled a machine called the Mac Studio. And listen, this is the perfect machine for me. The machine is perfect. And I didn't buy the max out. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I bought. Not in the Portuguese site, but anyway. So I could take this one, with the M1 Ultra, but sorry for those who are not geeks. It's the geek set. It's a little bit of geekery. It's not gonna be long. Hey Julie. So for what I need personally, from what the power that I see with the M1 Mac Mini, I don't need a 20 core GPU. I don't need the whole CPU. I don't need the Ultra, actually, because listen, to make beats, you don't need all that. Final Cut, I only do HD video, maybe 4K. I don't need that. It's great to take a machine and be able to use it for 10 years. But actually, for the price it costs, I can change in 3 years if my needs change. So I decided to to actually get the M1 Max, because I'm using an M1 normal. And if I ever need something more powerful, maybe I will go Mac Pro when it comes out. But for now, I need a machine that I can use as my main machine, and that if I get something more beefier, but listen, I don't even need a Mac Pro. Like the craziness of these machines, I could just have one M1 Max and one Ultra, maybe the day I have my new place, and I have one for the bedroom and one for the my office, or maybe I can put two in my office. But I know that this one is gonna become my travel machine. It's gonna stay in a bag, in my travel bag, and I'm gonna buy a new travel bag where I'm gonna have a camera for live stream. This machine, that the one I'm using right now, is gonna be always there. Cables, tripods, lights like this one that I'm using to light me up. And this one will stay in the bag all the time. And when I travel, I turn it up. And so the configuration I bought is this one with 32 cores. I took 64 gigs of memory, which is more than enough. And I took 1 terabyte of SSD because I have unlimited SSD that I'm gonna plug directly. And that's it. And it cost me, it cost less in dollars. It cost me more in euros. It cost me 3,200. And what's beautiful is that half of that money, I made it on the same day. I just received a bunch of email from crypto.com, and I just sold 1,005 euros worth of NFTs the same day. So I just went to my crypto.com account. I turned my USD into euros, put them in my crypto.com credit card, where I already left money for this buy, and I just put it there, and I just ordered that straight away. I will be here in 10 days. And listen, that machine is a beast. I'm telling you, the things it can do is crazy. Really like, and it's beautiful. I really like the machine. It makes me think of a Mac Cube. The I/O is crazy, because my problem with this one that I'm using right now is that I only have like 2 Thunderbolt and 2 USB, and it's not enough, especially for what I do. But for example, if I want to do an episode of Club Shada and I want to have, let's say, a guest and 2 microphones, it becomes complicated. With this one, I can really like look in the back. HDMI, 2 USB-A, Ethernet, 4 Thunderbolt USB-C, and 2 in the front. That machine is crazy performance. Like, so yeah, listen, I can't wait to have it at home and play with it, and we'll see, you know. For the live stream, I don't know if he's gonna change anything, but I think maybe because I'm just gonna have a lot of graphic power with this one. So because of the graphic power I'm gonna have, maybe, for example, I don't know if you remember, there was an episode maybe 2-3 episodes ago, I was trying to go to the metaverse live, and it started to be slow. It started to stutter. That was because I didn't have enough memory, and I didn't have enough graphic memory, and doing a live stream takes a lot of the power of the computer. With this machine, I'm gonna have one chip that is dedicated to turning the video into streaming. So all this is going to be done on the fly. And then I'm going to have so much memory and so much graphic power that I'm going to be able to do smooth graphic all the time. So something I might do with that machine is maybe I'm going to animate some parts here. I like the way my live stream looks because it's very simple. So, you know, I have these things here, it's simple. But maybe I will animate some stuff here or there. Maybe I will, the Club Shada logo, maybe from time to time there will be an animation, something, nothing abused, nothing exaggerated, but from time to time it will change and turn into something else. Or maybe like, you know, glow something. I'm gonna make it an animated logo here. Those icons, maybe I'll have them rotate, and yeah, maybe I'll see. Maybe when there's a super chat, I will have something that is not just like that icon you see here. Maybe I'll do something that goes around the whole screen. I don't know. But the fact that, you know, you have unlimited power, you can be a little more creative without, you know, without destroying your show. Mountain of Inspiration was good. What machine you have right now, Julie? Listen, it's a very good upgrade. I'm very, very happy. So I can't wait for these to arrive in my home. Listen, it's crazy. Yes. I made $100,000 in my first NFT drop, and I'm actually doing the new one. So let me show you. Those are this is one I just did right now, just before starting the show. Oh, you cannot see. Yeah, see it better here. And yeah, my next drop is gonna be crazy. This is one of the last piece of the drop. Where is it? Just did it. This is one of the last piece of my next drop. It's gonna be on crypto.com. So for those who are interested in owning one of my pieces, just like how do I get out of here? Yeah, just like MJ, for example, he's an owner of one of my pieces. For those who are interested in owning my pieces, you can follow me on crypto.com /NFT, or listen, let me put the link in the chat. This is a link to my OpenSea, my foundation, and my everything NFT. You just go to this website and you can check my art. But if you follow me on crypto.com, you can buy some art already, but I'm gonna have a special drop, my second drop in I don't have the date yet. I'm waiting for them, as I'm just done with the drop. So as soon as they give me the thing, I'll let you know. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's Mickey Mouse in the back. I mean, listen, that's a good idea actually. Just make sure it's updated because it's not yet working with the Apollo sound card. It works with mine because I already have the M1 with the Mac Mini. It works. All I had to do to make it work with the Apollo Twin, I had to get a Thunderbolt to USB-C adapter, and it worked. It's working fine. Actually, I'm using it right now. Actually, the next thing I'm gonna upgrade from the next sales that I do, I'm gonna get a new Apollo. I'm gonna take a USB free. No, not a USB free. A Thunderbolt or USB-C Apollo. That's my next upgrade in the music studio. So then I can be all USB-C. So what model you have of the Future Soundbeat? Because me, I have no problem. Make sure you have the latest version of the program, And the installation, you just have to look at the website exactly how to install the program and how to bypass some of the security from the computer and accept some things to install. Once you do it, you have no problem. Yeah, you listen, let me show you my gallery. Yeah, you see, I go in, I just made a sale. Nice. So this person, let me check. Oh, it's somebody who has, his name is Pegasus41, and he has, this is one of my works, this as well, and he just bought this one called The Wolf in Wall Street. So yeah, that's something he just bought for $250. Nice. And it's part of my collection, Art That Pops. Beautiful. That gallery already made almost 15,000 in from sales and secondary sales. And I think this one was sold yesterday. I think this one was sold as well. Let me see. I don't know if every edition of that one was sold. Oh no, I still have two. I have to promote them. What else did I? This is a brand new called El Caos. This one is for sale. I really like this one. I have those ones, those three, I think. Nobody bought them yet. Somebody bought that one 2 days ago. Sold, not sold. This one, I don't think so. This one either. This one has been sold. This one not. This one has been sold. This one has been sold. This one not. This one has been sold just now. This one has been sold. Sold, 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 sold. This one sold. This one not yet. Sold. I sold that one too. Sold, 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 and sold. That's crazy. Listen, if somebody would have told me 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, you will make more money from selling your digital paintings than making music and shows for a whole year, and you will make more money in 2 months than a whole year of touring and selling music and streams and whatever, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. And people are loving my art. I didn't even know I was able to do it. Like, and yeah, you know the story. So those galleries are really working. And then I have my other ones, the Androids, already made 17,000 in trade volume, and it's a collection of Androids that I draw and I add, and a lot of them. How many people bought them? I have 46 owners for 43 collectibles. So some of them have multiple editions, but now I just do one editions for each. And yeah, listen, people are just liking them, so I keep doing them. And my next collection is gonna be an ode to women in the Web3 space. It's gonna be called Cyberfemme, and yeah, can't wait to unveil it and see if and see if people are enjoying the art. But listen, for anybody who wants to go collect a Kaysha, all you have to do is, I put the link in the chat, and the link is always in the description for my NFT galleries. But yeah, listen, NFTs, I've been making some nice stuff in there. And listen, thank you to all the people who are collecting my art and who are, helping me in a new journey. Super exciting, and like to do this. Your art inspires me, Basquiat. Yeah, listen, that's one of my big inspirations. Actually, when I started, I was really looking a lot of at his painting, especially this one. Wait, there's one that is called "Social Media Kill the Love." It is very, very Basquiat-esque. This one. Even the colors are very Basquiat inspired. And there's this one that I sold also. There's actually, I think it's the same person who bought both of them. These ones. The King is Dead. This guy called NFT Knight bought it. And then they have this one, Streaming. Same guy who bought both of them. And if I remember well, he paid them a good price. He's not even selling them, but he bought them for this one for 700, and he bought the other one for another 700. I think I priced them both at 1,000, and he proposed me 700 for both, 700 for 1,004 for both, and I said yes. So yeah. So yeah, this is what I do. And listen, the next collection is gonna be beautiful. Like the art, I'm not unveiling yet because, of course, I'm gonna start the mayonnaise when I have a date of a drop date. So for now, I'm just letting things flow. Futuristic and eternal. I like this. Thank you. You know, I do what I can. What can I say? Mine is working. I have MacBook Pro 15 that I use until but a friend who just purchased the MacBook Pro M1, he told me it's not working with Apollo. Well, listen, I got the M1 Mac Mini and it works. So I don't know what version of the Apollo he has, but it works. Now listen, I mean, it's been an hour. Now I want to talk about the unpopular opinion. I have to say it in French. Là, tu me stimules pour de vrai. That was sexual? No, I'm joking. I'm always happy to inspire somebody. You know, a lot of people are proposing me so many things, and this is always the reason why I'm like, guys, you don't realize I don't have time. I'm pursuing a digital painting career. I'm also gonna start a photo, sell my photos as NFTs. I'm about to start thinking how I can mix music and NFTs. And I've just released a 50-track album, and I have a show that is 4 hours of live per week, and people are complaining like this guy who was telling me it would be great if it was on Friday for those who work. Like, so I mean, I understand what it means. Sometimes I'm like, I should try, but people don't realize like it's so much to do. Oh, Dalia, comment ça va? So listen, let's go to the unpopular opinion. And the reason why I called this show of tonight Crackles in the Union. These last 2 weeks have been so listen, I don't know how you guys see yourselves do you see yourselves as Canadians, French, Americans, or West Indians, Africans? And by that I mean, do you see yourself as a Congolese or a Cameroonese or West Indian, Nigerian, whatever you are originally, living in Europe or in the US? Or do you see yourself as a French citizen or a European citizen or an American citizen or a Canadian citizen or Portuguese or wherever you live? You can answer in the chat. Personally, I tend to see, bonne nuit. I tend to see myself, don't forget to watch the replay, leave a like, and put a comment tomorrow. Personally, I see myself as a Pan-African person, but I understand that my origins are Congo and Portugal. And I have French citizenship, and I lived in France more than I live anywhere else. And even if in my house we speak Portuguese, I speak with my parents, and my mother tongue, the language that I always spoke all my life, is French. So I would say that I see myself as a French citizen, and I would even say a Portuguese citizen now, because this is where I have my tax residence. I'm a resident of Portugal officially. And my mind is broad enough, right? My mind is broad enough that I can see myself as a French citizen, a Portuguese, a Lisboeta, and at the same time understand that I still represent for Africa. But at the same time, because I lived here my whole life, I mean, since I'm 7 years old, so it's been 41 years that I live in Europe. I'm a European as culturally and as a person that lived in Europe my whole life. When I'm in Africa, I see myself more as a tourist. Even if this is home, I see myself as a tourist. And it is not a question of value or whatever. It's just that this is not where I live. So even when I'm in Congo, I know everybody. I'm in Kinshasa, this is my place. But I've never been more than a whole month. More than a whole month in the last 40 years. I've never been more than a whole month in Kinshasa. So as much as people love to see themselves as, listen, it's everybody's heart. I think it's a personal decision. A lot of people love to why'd you say? Listen, it is something that is yours, and it's nobody's place to judge. But I believe that for me personally, that's my personal experience. I am from my roots in Africa to the branches in Europe. And I've been in so many countries. I love Asia more than I love Europe and Africa, I believe. And I really love my African upbringing and my African roots and my African the values that I've been raised with. And at the same time, I know that they are mixed with French values, European because and American a little bit, because that's culturally, this is my culture. I know way more about rap, R&B, kizomba, zouk than I know about rumba. If you ask me the history of zouk and compa and kizomba, I can explain to you way more than if you tell me, yeah, what's the history of rumba? I would be like, yeah, but you Congolese. That's not even what I listen to. I listen to more Brazilian music than I listen to everything else. So, and I actually love listening to house music more than I prefer something else. So, as I say all the time to the people who love to shame their brothers for not being like them, I believe that it's a personal thing, and everybody has the right to feel how they feel. I'm coming. So, but still, I'm coming. That's a very hard question. I actually ask myself always about that. I think I'm all in one. Yeah, me too. And I think it makes her more rich as people to be everything. But have you ever watched Funérailles de Tabou? They talk about that. Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. That was interesting. I thought that one of the guys who was there, I think it was a Congolese guy in that one. I didn't see everything. I watched a little bit of it, but there was one of the guys who was there. It was funny to me because he was trying to push his views of what it is to be an African to the others, and the others were more like, yo, calm down, like we can be both at the same time. And the guy's like, no, me, and I was like, I didn't see the whole episode, so I'm not gonna judge, but I know that when I speak to some people who are pro black or pro African or etc., and they've never been to Africa, or they go to Africa, maybe they live in Africa 5% of their life, the rest of the time they were in Paris, and I see them being like, yo, that Africa. I'm like, bro, you are the diaspora. You like even when you go there, you might not even feel, because like my cousins say about Kinshasa, it's a pocket dimension. It's not even the same rules. Some things that you think are normal, some people will not do them, and you're gonna be like, what's going on here? It's just because once you pass 10,000 kilometers, it's another part of the planet, and everything can be different. But wait, I'm arriving to my subject. Malcolm Beast, what up, brother? I'm Togolese, Malagasyan woman born in France. Already live in real hood and real comfort with multiple gifts of God. And this mix is me. That's a nice mix. So, why am I asking you this? Is because with this war between Russia and Ukraine, I've seen some things that have been not really shocking me, but the fact that all these sanctions that they are imposing on Russia and the Russian people, a lot of them, listen, it's the war, I understand, they put sanctions, all right, no problem. But some of them, I was like, yo, wait a minute. And the way the situation is treated and the way the journalists, they don't even hide the way they view the Ukrainian people under a war, they don't even hide the fact that they do a distinction between these people, these refugees. They're not migrants, they're refugees. And they don't even care anymore. Like, when I heard some contents, like some comments from journalists saying like, well, it's not the same, it's not a war because it's not in Africa or in the Middle East where they are used to wars. Wait a minute. You guys have been at war the whole last century. Half of the last century was your wars. 14 to 18, 43 to 45. These were your wars. And then after these wars, you decided to go and share Africa and the rest of the world between yourself, do colonies, and you are responsible for all the wars that are still happening today, all the conflict that are happening today is you guys. I mean, us guys, because I'm French as well. And seeing that those people are like, no, but you know, they're not like, they're blonde with blue eyes. I was like, yo. And it is so interesting to see how, as we are moving in this world and things are changing to something different, and the media is getting uniform. We have a lecture of the events that is dictated by the tweets and the point of view of a part of the population, which is the Western world, the people that control the media everywhere, that have CNN, France 24, and all their channels all around the world. And it is very, very interesting to look at it from that point of view when you realize that the people that will come from as far as Syria, or even less far than Senegal, are going to be called refugees because they are white, and they are going to be called migrants because they are brown. And you look at this and you're like, and you're going to see how all these people, they go crazy. Like, they are unanimous in their sanctioning of a war that will bring them money because they sell the weapons. But they are... Meu Deus, tudo os barulho, por quê? And they will be they will have these they're gonna have all these craziness that they do. Like, the media has become a place where it's kind of hard now to find objective opinions, meaning that Russia invades Ukraine. Yes. But then everybody acts surprised. Everybody is surprised, as if, oh my God, they did that, whatever, when You can find videos of Biden, Joe Biden, the actual president, 25 years ago, saying in a meeting, as when he was a governor from Delaware at that time, and he's talking about Ukraine and Russia, and he's saying, listen, I think Ukraine should stay neutral, because I believe that if we continue the expansion of NATO till that zone, Russia might feel pressed, and maybe at that point it becomes problematic. And yeah, if we start installing our bases in their borders with our missiles and whatever, they're gonna feel threatened. And all these people, they all act today as if they're surprised, they're shocked. Oh my God. And it shows you a political class in a lot of these countries that it feels like they're babies. It feels like they don't understand the reality of the world, and they don't understand the reality of the consequences of their own actions or the people before them. And they all react as if we were on Twitter. You know what? We're going to cancel Russia. All right. We're going to stop using the gas. We're going to stop doing this. We're going to stop using the oil. We're going to remove all the RT and Sputnik from cable. They cannot emit anymore because they lie. We're going to freeze the assets of every billionaire, all the oligarchs, all the friends of Putin. Like, well, this is cancel culture in grandeur nature. Okay, so if RT and Sputnik, the Russian channels, are propaganda media for the Russian government, Radio France Internationale, what is it? What is France 24 doing in Congo? What is all these channels, like what CNN? When the US decided to invade Iraq based on lies, unverified information, and drop bombs on top of the same people. Listen, people, even soldiers, they don't want war. Wars are decided by the people who are not fighting and dying. They're decided by all these people who are on the TV stations talking. And when you decide to drop bombs on people, all these innocent people who were in Iraq, based on a lie that they were trying to get atomic weapons. Like you don't have them? Whoever used atomic weapons, if it's not you guys? How come, or us, how come you guys are here wanting to prevent other people from having what you have? And every time you want to free the people with bombs, there's always oil, gas, gold under their feet. And when those people lied, and CNN first, they are lying about the whole thing. And you see, nobody canceled CNN. Nobody canceled CNBC and all the news channel from America from playing in other places. And actually, when any country cancel your media, you say that those people are censoring. But now that you are censoring Russian channels for giving their point of view on a situation, all of a sudden it's normal. No, it has the same name. It has the same name, censorship. And when you guys go to Yugoslavia, the Americans, and you bomb a country without the authorization of the UN, it's called an aggression as well. And nobody stops you from playing football. So I see a certain form of Russian xenophobia now with the American and the way all these people in the Occident are starting to think. Okay, the Russians cannot be part of the Olympics. They cannot be part of the football. They cannot be part of this. They cannot, like, yo, you're a Russian singer? No, your show is canceled. Or you're an oligarch, or your money is seized. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? This is called whatever it's called. But when you guys decide to go in other people's places, it's no problem. So listen, I'm not Israeli, I'm not Palestinian. I don't know enough to know who's wrong and who's right. But if I am from Palestine and I have people occupying my land, I mean some parts of my land, like they go on the other side and they keep expanding, right, to the Gaza Strip, which has been the problem all these years. So there's no aggression here. When it's no problem. I don't get it. So everybody goes crazy about Ukraine, like, oh my God, like, do something. Oh my God, everybody has to tweet something. Everybody has to stand, change this. Like, okay, listen, we all support. But what about Yemen? What's going on in Yemen is way worse. There's way more people dying from that war for way longer. And I don't see the whole world talking about it. Nobody cares. $8 million dead in Congo. Your weapons. Uganda, Rwanda invading on the east. Same thing as what's going on here in Ukraine. For the coltan, for all the minerals. Very unstable. Millions and millions of women raped. But on the day of the women, that was yesterday, happy day of the women, everybody in the Shada gang. I don't hear nobody talking about these women in the Western world that are so about preaching, giving lessons to the whole world. You don't care about these people. All the people who are the 8 million people plus that died in the east of Congo, for you guys to go and recuperate the resources, and because of the hunger for power of all these people, nobody's being canceled. And you guys don't care. And you don't do standing ovations. And listen, somebody could reply, but listen, it's far. It's there. So it's so far that, listen, it's between you guys. It's between you guys. Like, you handle yourself between Uganda, Congo, Rwanda. Like, you guys should, East African Union, they have to handle this between themselves. Okay. So it's our stuff. It's our stuff, right? Okay. So why are you asking us our opinion now? Why do I turn off the TV and I see the same people telling us, "Oh, listen, it's in Europe, so it's this is a shock for us because it's in Europe, not like you guys, you used to it." Why am I seeing people asking, commenting, "Yeah, the African countries, they're not saying anything." Like, everybody should be unanimous against this war. We need the African countries to step up and say we condemn as well. Why is Shada not saying nothing? So if it's our stuff, when it happens in our continent, why do you want us to care about your shit? Why is your indignation very geometric? Maybe because of the gas that goes under Ukraine and arrive to Germany and can make you hot in the winter, or maybe because you're a bunch of hypocrites. And I'm gonna predict what's gonna happen, and I might be completely wrong. At a point, they're all gonna sit down, because this whole mess is a mess. It's a mess. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, is going to sit down. He's going to say, "Listen, you can keep Crimea, you can keep Donbass." And listen, we talk about, listen, I'm not here to say who's right, who's wrong. I'm not for one side. Personally, I have a lot of Ukrainian friends. I got a lot of Russian friends, and I love everybody. But the people from the East Ukraine of Donbass have been being bombarded by the Ukrainian government for the last 4 years. There's documentaries about that. And everybody's like, "No, that's not true. This whole shit started 2 weeks ago. Oh my God." Like, don't make complicated subject simple because you want to point fingers. These people love to point fingers. And listen, somebody said something very interesting. Somebody said that Putin should be sent to the Cour Pénale Internationale, the International Tribunal. It's in Holland, in Den Haag. He should be brought there. And somebody replied to him, "Yes, but Bush, Sarkozy, and them should go first." But in their head, they make those instances to send the Russians and the Africans and some of the Asians that they don't want to be under their control. And listen, at a point, the war in Iraq made 250,000 dead. 250,000 dead. And nobody cared, because Dick Cheney and them were making a bunch of money with the oil, and this was funded with drug money. All these are facts, not inventions. The problem is the people who control media are choosing who are the victims for them and who they care about, depending on what are their interests. And the interests are always geopolitical. And at a point, for me, we're gonna see some crackle in this, because this position is untenable and people are not dumb enough. 80% of the people are dumb enough to just follow and be like, "Oh my God." But at a point, even for some countries, you're going to start seeing crackles in this whole yeah, we all united against whatever. Because the way they show you, depending on where you live, they will show you, and they will only talk about something as if it was the whole world being. Listen, when we say world war, it was not world war. It was in Europe. It was just the European against the West Europeans against the East, and the Americans took part. That's it. In Africa, there was no world war. The rest of the world was not in the world war, but they will say it's the world war when it's them, and it shows you a real view of the world where we are the center. Like the world is flat and we are in the middle. That's how a lot of the Occidentals see the world. And sadly, they have been like that forever. You know, when the Europeans decided that Jesus was the God of everybody, they forgot that back in Rome it was Jupiter, and they were not monotheists. And then at that point, everybody was seeing the Christian religion as something that was problematic. The same way the Christians are now seeing the Muslims, the Romans were seeing the Christians the same way. Like they were preventing people from praying the one God that was Jesus. And then once it became the religion that everybody started choosing, you know, they were there chilling between themselves, and they were like, who do they pray for in Africa? No, wait a minute. Who do they pray for in the Middle East? Allah? Why? No, this is not the right God. Let's go. Crusades. Kill everybody and implant their religion to everybody. They went in Africa, and why do we speak French? Why don't we speak our own language? Because they came and they decide, hey, yo, Jesus, blonde, blue eye, this is the guy. Forget Mami Wata. And they always had this imperialism, but they use religion, they use language, they use culture to force their ways of the world to everybody, because they believe deep inside, they believe that they are on the right side. They believe that they are progress. They believe that, and listen, I don't disagree with a lot of the things that, listen, I live in Europe. I'm a European, I'm a French citizen. I speak French and English and Portuguese 99% of the time. So I'm part of this culture. Listen, I don't have no problem with 90% of the culture of the West, because that's where I live. If I lived in Kinshasa, I would be like, damn, what's wrong with these people? Because there's a lot of things that it's not my culture and it's not my ways. When I go there, I look and I'm like, but I don't try to force my ways to other people. And the West have this thing where they believe so much that the way they think and the way their culture is the right thing, that everybody should benefit from our language, from our culture, from our progress in terms of societal progress, and everybody should also benefit from our religions and our ways. So before living in France, so the 7 years, I was young, but the 7 years where I was in Congo, I didn't care about, I was too young anyway, but I didn't care about Muslims, non-Muslim, religious, whatever. Listen, I was raised as a Catholic before becoming Buddhist. I was raised a Catholic. I have my confirmation, my baptism, etc. Like it. Yeah. But when I arrived in France, when I started watching TV, all they kept talking about was, oh, you know, when women put a veil on their head, it's submission. And like, I've been hearing this debate for 40 years. I was like, why do they care so much about now? Because this is the beginning of the invasion. I was like, yo, these people want to impose their ways to other people. And even when they go to other places, they don't want to respect the rules from other people. And they hate communautarism in France, for example. But when they go to Congo, when they go to other countries, in Senegal, they stay between themselves in communities. So there's a huge contradiction that they are living contradiction, and they are in an hypocrisy, because they will look at a war going on and they want the whole world to be alarmed. But when there's a war in the same distance in another direction, they act like if it's not happening. And there's a lot of societal changes that are great, that I am for. But I'm not trying to force other people to be for them as well. And it's very interesting how the Western media is starting to want to only have one direction for everybody. And I think it's dangerous, because there are now some things that you cannot talk on YouTube. We'll talk about them on YouTube, and YouTube might just remove your channel citing something. So during COVID, for example, if you didn't believe about the whole thing, vaccine, etc., it is your right to not believe. Well, it's not anymore. The people who don't want to get vaccinated, etc., they were treated as non-citizens. The people who had YouTube channels where they really were trying to debunk, have facts, tell the opinions. The people who vote for Trump, people just want to put them as idiots, racist, etc. Well, listen. And the problem is, as we give power to platforms, to places like YouTube, Twitter, to get our information, we go to Twitter, to YouTube, we go to websites, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. We should be free as people to make our own opinions about things, and to decide individually as people how we feel about issues, whatever issue it is. And if we believe something that is not true, your goal as a journalist, your goal as a politician, your goal as a leader of opinion, your goal as whatever you are, is to convince people that they are in the wrong. Not to force them, and not to prevent them from having other opinions. So when you, as a journalist, you say it is right, that it is the right thing to close RT and Sputnik, which are the Russian state media, as you call them, I want to know why it is right that your state media stays open. Because all the lies that you say are being said in the Russian, those channels, you supposed to, in France, we had a CSA, which is the organism that regulates they can put fines when somebody says something wrong. But those people never received a fine. They just give an opinion. They were actually showing the manifestation of the Gilets jaunes. They were inviting people at that time when you were not. So it's very interesting in this world where now everybody wants to cancel anybody that don't agree with them, or cancel anybody that says something that they, for example, I was seeing an interview. I mean, it was a show where somebody was I think it was something about sexuality and different sexuality of people. And one person tells a guy, so for you, for example, you were a man, and then the guy cuts him. Who makes you think that I'm a man? The guy looks like me, has a bird, everything. Huh? He said, who makes you think that I'm a man? And the guy's like, well, I mean, physically you look like, no, I don't identify as a man or a woman. Blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole thing. Listen, more power to you if this is how you feel about yourself. But you cannot feel threatened or feel disrespected by somebody who didn't go through all these things yet and say that it's offensive, when if you are a little bit logic, it's not offensive. He sees you look like a man, so you're a man for him, for most people. But you decided to make it different for you. It's going to take years for people to agree or move to where you are. And you have to accept that as well when you are in that position. And you also have to accept that there are some cultures that they will not accept that. And they want their traditions, they want to keep their tradition, etc. You have to also accept that either they will move at their pace, or maybe they will not move where you want them to move. And you cannot just be there saying that things have to change. Things have to go, no. I want these guys to change even if I don't live there. And that's the problem of the way that the media and a lot of people are now. We start to believe, especially in the media, on YouTube, you still have the possibility to listen to a lot of opinions. Actually, this is great. But when I don't watch a lot of French media, but when I turn on TV, it's starting to crackle. I'm starting to crackle. People are starting to come up and say, bro, like, this war is the West fault. It's NATO fault. It's not just Putin. People are starting to understand that there's a lot of complicated and a lot of factors to where we are. And listen, now the US said no more oil here. But the Germans said, nah, bro. We're going to keep buying that oil. And you know why? Because we need it. And because the world is interconnected. This is the world that you all wanted. Interconnections. So we're not going to make a war not with Russia and not with China. And all these people were saying, oh, is the World War III coming? All these people are just fear mongering. Because if people decide to cancel China, there's no more iPhones and computers and all the shit that you guys are using. Because everything is being built there because of the decisions that you guys took to make things cheaper. And nobody in this world will accept to pay a phone 4,000 euros because it's been built in places where there's a minimum salary, etc. You are very happy to complain about this, the people that are working like slave out there, but you're happy to use the product of the slavery in question. And so when I look at the Western media, more and more I'm seeing that for a lot of them, they only accept one direction, and they are very emotive. Listen, I'm not an emotive person, for me, when there's a conflict, I try to read about it. Like, how did we get there? What happened before? And listen, I went to Ukraine myself. I went there for a Kizomba festival with Olga, and I was in Kharkiv, which was, I think, 100 kilometers from the war zone of the east, from Donbass. So I remember before going, I was looking at the map. I was like, wait a minute. This place seems like, and it was like, yeah, but you know, don't worry. I was like, okay. And listen, Odessa, Kharkiv, all these places that are really in the middle of the war are really places where Kizomba is growing. So it saddens me to see this. But then I as I was going there, I started learning about the place and everything that was going there, and the whole, you know, the fact that the people some people are pro-Russian and some people really want to remove the Russian part, and they are proactive in trying to make Ukraine itself. And I understand that it's complicated, it's not that easy. And so, but when we know that promising them that they would be part of the EU and part of NATO, etc., also created something, and that nobody would have accepted that China have bases, like say you in Paris, you would not have accepted that China make bases in Brussels and in I don't know, in Portugal or Spain. And same for the US. The US would have never accepted that Russia puts military bases in Canada and in Mexico. They would have never accepted it. But because they see themselves as the good ones, they're not evil at all. With everything that they've been doing the last 200 years, they're not evil at all. They believe that they can do it. It's normal. It's to protect the people. But when the Russians invade a country saying exactly the things that you say when you invade other countries, all of a sudden we have to cancel Russia. And it's a dangerous world. Listen, I don't know if as somebody who I mean, not for me, but if I was Russian and I had a lot of money, I don't know if when this whole thing is over and everybody sits down on a table and they find a solution that pleases everybody, because this is what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm a Russian person and I have a lot of money and somebody just took my boat, took my club, took my whatever, because for reasons that are as juridically, I don't know if this word exists, but as if I was a lawyer, I would be like, wait a minute, how are you gonna take something to my client and he did nothing other than just being friends of somebody? So wait a minute, the US invaded Iraq for no reason other than pillaging what was in the ground and destroying that country like they destroyed the rest of the countries that they've been in. Should all the people who know Bush have their money frozen? How is it that one country or one part of the world can decide that they can freeze the money from whoever they decide, like just like that? No judge saying yes, we agree, nothing. They just wake up the next day, they say, oh yeah, listen, if you're Russian, we seize all your stuff that are in our countries. Do you think that all these people, when you unfreeze their shit, they're not gonna sell everything, or they're gonna move everything they own to other countries where this is not happening? But you believe that your countries are so amazing that people will come back and say, oh, listen, I want to be in Côte d'Azur. Listen, they can go to Brazil, they can go to Dubai, they can go to so many places, and you are going to be the one crying because, oh, the tourists don't come here anymore. Look, you speak about China all the time in a certain way. Who save your economy with all the tourism and when they come by to your Le Galerie Lafayette and whatever? The Chinese. And with this Russian xenophobia that those people are doing is gonna have ramification for a long time, and he's gonna hit them. He's gonna hit them in the ass in a way that they don't even foresee yet. A lot of countries are gonna say to themselves, "Look, we can be in the SWIFT system, which is a messaging system that permits banks to exchange money fast around the world for settlements." And a lot of these banks can be like, listen, we need to find a new system that is not controlled by the Americans and the Europeans, because those people can just wake up one day and cut all our banks from those places. And now you see the Russians, they're doing a deal for gas with China. The Russians are now participating in the Chinese payment system. A lot of these countries are saying to themselves, we better go crypto. We better put liquidity in crypto so that we can do our exchanges using cryptocurrencies and finding new ways where we don't have to use a system that is not equilibrated, balanced. Because it's a thing where you have those people, we are right all the time and everybody else should do how we think. So listen, we can remove the dollar, access to the dollar from Angola, and all of a sudden you guys can be, you were a millionaire yesterday and today you're only a millionaire in Angola. In the rest of the world you don't have money because your money is not worth nothing all of a sudden, because we decide, us Americans, and we make sure that every other country who's scared of us will not work with you, because if they work with you they will not have access to the systems that we control as well. And this hegemony of one country that is deciding for everybody and saying they are the good guys when they are just other imperialists who are just disguised is dangerous for the world. A place where only one person is the judge, the jury, and the executioner. It's very dangerous. We need a world where there's at least 3-4 poles of power, where a decision can be only taken if China, Russia, the US and Europe agree, and where the Europe has its own voice as well, and they just don't follow like little dogs what the Americans tell them. Because listen, the Europeans cannot even defend themselves. They don't even have an army. All this is America. Listen, it's a mess started by the Americans, and the Europeans just follow. At a point, you're gonna have to decide in the world what kind of world you want. And listen, more and more Africans, after seeing some images of how their own refugees who are trying to run from Ukraine are being treated, and those who are out there in Africa, and they ask them, what do you think? You know what they say? They say, we don't care. Like you don't care about us, we don't care about you. And let me remind you one thing. When the horrible murder of George Floyd happened and sparkled the whole thing around the world, and everybody became Black Lives Matters and etc., and everybody was, they said the whole world was thinking this. But again, it was not the whole world. If you were in Kinshasa or in Tombouctou, they didn't care. You got manifestation all around the world. Yeah. And listen, it was a horrible crime. But this happens in Africa all the time. For them, they were like, yeah, but wait a minute. We had like 80 people died in a bomb and you guys didn't care. Why we have to care about this one guy? That's how people think. But we live in a world where if you live in Europe or if you live in America, they make you believe that the thing that matters to them has to matter to you, and they make it believe as if it matters to the whole world. And this view of the world is dangerous, because once you step out of that zone of influence, you realize that, listen, some people don't care about some of the stuff that you talk about. Some people are not interested in some of the things that you think are important. Some people don't care about I don't know, pronouns, stuff like that. Some people are not there. They're busy trying to eat or whatever. Or some people, they're interested in things that has to do with their own countries and the trouble that they live, like, you know. And the problem is, and to me it's normal. I really believe that it's normal. Yeah, I mean, when those people they see war in Europe and it's not far from them, it's like, I understand how they feel that, hey, I'm European, so I feel like, oh shit, it's in Europe, it's not far. I understand that, but what's happening in the east of Congo is far from me too, because only when I'm there and of course I care more because I'm from Congo, and when I look at it, I'm horrified and I understand those things. But a lot of people, they don't have a clue that it exists, and I understand that they don't, because it's not their reality. My problem is that they want their reality to be the reality of the whole world, and they want their ways and their way to think to be the same for the whole world. And there's a lot of pushback that is coming from all that. This year has been COVID, the way people have been treated because of COVID. Listen, I'm triple vaccinated. I believe in vaccine, etc. So just for people to know, but still, the way a lot of government have been censoring everybody that has a different opinion is dangerous, because it feels like a lot of the people who have the power on the media they are from this generation that hates the idea of people having a different opinion than theirs. When we talk about we're gonna talk about COVID. I had long conversation with people who don't want to get vaccinated, and I was not trying to force them to do it, and they're still not vaccinated and they're fine. And I was explaining to them why I was vaccinated, and I was telling them it was a conversation not about you should or you should not. It was, this is why I don't do it. And me, I was like, oh, this is why I do. And I was just having the conversations. But I never tried to force them to think the way I think. The problem is a lot of the people and a lot of people in the media in some countries like France, oh, if you don't want to get vaccinated, come on, like, you're not a citizen anymore, you don't have right to the hospital, etc. Yo, I'm paying my taxes like the rest of you. So yeah, I have right to every fucking thing. And here in Portugal, all those debates, I don't really see them. Maybe because I don't really watch TV. I only watch YouTube and Netflix and HBO and them. But I don't feel like the debate is as intense here as it is in Sweden, in some countries. But I see that the French, UK, the countries that are supposed to be the leaders of Europe and the US, the national debates that they have and the way they think is starting to become more and more and more dictatorial when it comes to opinions. You have the right, like, listen, there's some things I agree. There's some things, come on, some facts of histories, you cannot start saying that it didn't happen. But there's a lot of things that if you tell them, Mom, listen, me, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, I love that example. Like, listen, I have my genital as a man. I have a huge dick, and because I feel like a woman, I want to go in a sauna for women, and there's this woman, she's with her kid, and other women, and I'm here walking naked. But because I decided that I'm a woman, you guys have to agree that I am, so nobody can be shocked. And everybody says, sorry, we're shocked. and then the person makes a whole scandal about it, and then everybody's going to be, oh, look what they did to this trans woman. And people are like, wait a minute. Can we stop being emotional and just look at the whole situation with a little bit of logic and try to be like, yeah, but bro, no, bro, did you call me bro? Yo, look at this thing hanging. Like, wait, like, go transform yourself, come back, and then, yeah. But before that, you understand, and there's so much, it's such an economy, and it's such a society of selfish people that believe that whatever they think is the way everybody should think. And it becomes really dangerous to me. And I believe even for the economic system, we should have an economic system, like, for example, the interbank. Nobody should be taken out of it. And the reserve of money should not be the dollar. It should be, because it gives an advantage to one country over everybody else. And they can impose stuff to everybody else, and they can use it to blackmail, they can use it to force you to do something. The reserve should be gold, like it was before the Bretton Woods Accords, after the Second World War, or was it 60s? Forget it. The reserve should be Bitcoin or gold, and the interbank system should not be SWIFT, or if it's SWIFT, it should be, nobody should have the right to cut banks from whoever from using it, and money should move from wherever to wherever without. And when you decide to impose sanction, it's going to be your decision between the countries who agree or not, and not, yeah, you decide, like, so you guys decide to cut Russia from SWIFT, right? And me, I have a bank in Congo, and now I cannot send money to Russia, to a bank and whatever. What do I have to do with that? What do I have to do with it? Oh, they did this to Ukraine. Listen, you did this to these guys and these guys and these guys, and this happened in my country. What do I have to do with that? You should be, no, I should not. Because you guys don't care about my shit. So I don't care about your shit. So, no, I want to keep doing my business with Russia. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about that bank. They want to keep doing their business with Russia. They have the right to. Just like Germany told them. And this is why you start seeing the crackle, because all this unity is fake unity. All these countries are in competition with each other. So trust me, you're going to see here in Portugal, with all the money that the Russians, who are my neighbors, are buying in my neighborhood. I'm going to tell you, a lot of these sanctions will not work here. A lot of those people will be like, listen, we stand with Ukraine, but listen, the people who are paying taxes here, they're innocent until proven guilty, and not the opposite. So listen, you have something against Putin, it's Putin. It has nothing to do with whatever billionaire lives here. And now you have Americans who are pushing, McDonald's has to close, Coca-Cola cannot be there anymore. All these companies are going to lose a ton of money. And listen, if I was in Russia, I would open a burger chain right now. I'd be like, you see those people? Come eat local. So listen, you want globalization, but you cannot want globalization just from you to the world. It has to be everybody to everybody. Listen, I could rant for another 2 hours, but listen, it's been, I'm a hybrid. Listen, give me some rainbows in the chat if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, put some middle fingers. I'm I'm a hybrid. I'm Congolese when I eat because I like so much my pondu, my plantain, and my liboke. But my way of thinking has changed a lot. Sometimes my family in Africa don't understand me. Exactly. Yep. We should do a whole show about that. We should do one in your channel, Dahlia, and one in mine as well. But yeah, that's true. They lead people by fear. You say real things in this case. Thank you. I have the impression that they are trying to divert us from real subjects that we have to talk about. Oh, listen, in France, perfect for Macron. We don't have to talk about what's happening in the country or the fuckery we did because now Ukraine. That's perfect for some people. And the Americans is perfect. Like, don't use Russian gas, so we have gas. What up, Gilberto? I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold this thing true. We hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal. MLK, but you know how we do. You know how it is. We have to be impartial and say no to sensational things. But that's the problem. We live in a world where everybody is about, And listen, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Kanye is going to be pissed that we're talking too much about Ukraine and we're not talking about him. And he's going to do something crazy. He's going to do something crazy. I don't know. He's going to shit in his hand and put it on the wall of Kim saying skeet with his shit and film it and say it's art. And all his fans will be, yes, get her back. And everybody will look at him like, what the fuck? And everybody's going to be like, oh, Kanye this, Kanye. And like, listen, let me go on Twitter to see what is trending. Because for the last week, it was that. And some people forgot something. We live in a world where people think about stuff for little time. People are just, they have they change subjects and they have a span of attention that is very, very short. And look, war in Ukraine was trending forever. And now hip hop, LL Cool J, Lil Kim, Astro World, crypto. There you go. What can I say? Thank you, Mike, my guy. Well, listen, I'm sorry. I was just ranting about this, but it doesn't sit right with me. But at least I said what I had to say. Now I can move on to the next thing, and don't play yourself. The TikTok mindset. Yep, exactly. Kaysha, your album is amazing. Thanks, bro. You have to call me and we talk about the album. Like always, but I know you can do another classic. Listen, yeah, that album is... And the streams have been fantastic. I'm very happy. But anyway, that's all I had for you tonight. 3 a.m. Perfect. 2 hours and... Okay, I did a little more than I should, but yeah. Speaking of the new album, I'm gonna play you a track from my album, Ben True Royalty, and I'm gonna play you. Listen, if you enjoy the show, of course, you know that you can always support the show with a super chat. You can go buy something at shadaware.com, and don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, go in the channel, play some music, etc. And I'm gonna play you a track called I'm gonna play you the first track of the album. track 2, My Wife, which is I love the instrumentation, what me and Aldo Music and Obam did to this track. I believe that it's this album is a masterpiece. If you didn't listen to it yet, you can listen to Bantu Royalty on every platform. And you in Mexico? Oh, nice. This guy lives. So yeah, listen. I hope to see you soon. Thank you to everybody that was there tonight. We had 300 people. Thank you for the Shada gang. Thank you for those who are watching without saying nothing. If you are watching the replay, thank you as well. And I will see you Sunday. And listen, if you believe that I should try to do a show on a Friday, maybe just to see if it's different, maybe for those who have to sleep, let me know. All right? Let me know in a comment or let me know in the chat before the show ends. And until then, I will see you when I see you. Peace.
Ever wanted one thing out of this life. I only wanna go knowing my mama is a part of me, and I got a queen beside of me. Oh yeah, the kind of girl you wish she was your only one. So one day I got a ring, 'cause I know you are the missing piece of my king. I already knew when I met you, he was a